Hello, my name is Aubrey, and today I have for you guys the top 10 series that I want to read in 2022. I made this video last year, and while I did not get to all of the books on that list, it was still just kind of a fun video to make. I just think that number one, it's good to prioritize. Making a nice little list of things that I want to get to in a year is really helpful for me. And number two, it's just, it's good to challenge yourself, right? So I have another top 10 list of series that I want to read this year. Am I going to get to all of them? Probably not. There are even some repeats from the list I made last year. Just is what it is, and we'll just get right into the books. I have two honorable mentions. These are both series that I started at the very end of 2021 and I'm currently reading them. I am going to continue reading them. The first is The Lord of the Rings. I feel like I don't need to talk about this series too much, but unfortunately this was at the top of my list of last year of series that I wanted to get to. I procrastinated reading them until the very last minute, and then of course I didn't have enough time to read them all, but I am currently reading them, I'm enjoying them, and I'm just gonna continue reading them. And my second honorable mention is the same deal. It's the Greenbone Saga by Fonda Lee. I'm currently reading the series. I started it last year. I'm really enjoying it. I have no plans to set this series down. I just want to binge read the whole thing. I'm not sure why it feels like cheating to put books that I'm currently in the middle of on this list, but it just kind of did. So they're honorable mentions, and then I got to put two more series on the list. So okay, so coming in at number 10, I have the Winter Night trilogy by Catherine Arden. This is a Russian fairy tale-esque story. I have been dying to get to it for years, and these gorgeous Fairy Loot editions wound up on my doorstep just a few weeks ago, so it's really exciting. And since it is the winter season, I feel very invigorated to read these really soon. I don't know, these just sound perfect for me, and I can't wait to get to them. Number 9 on my list is the Graceling Realm series by Kristen Kishore. This is kind of like an old school evergreen YA fantasy series. I wanted to put it on the list because I have a lot of really chunky adult fantasy, and I just wanted to have a YA option that wasn't too chunky, But I also have just been meaning to get to the series for a long time. I think these books were published in 2008, so I'm behind big time. But this fourth book, Winter Keep, came out at the beginning of last year, and it just kind of reignited my interest in this series. So I want to get to it soon, and I hear that there is going to be a fifth book. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to these. This is a series where you can be graced with certain specialties, and each book kind of follows, at least in the original trilogy, each book follows a different character with a different grace. So I know that in the first book, our main character is graced with being a really good assassin, I think, and I'm not sure what these other two books are about, but again, it's just a well-loved YA series that has stood the test of time, so I can't wait to get to it. Okay, number 8 on the list is the Rhaeria Revelations series by Michael J. Sullivan. These were originally self-published books that got put into these big bind-ups, so each of these bind-ups contains 2 books, I think, and I don't know all that much about this series other than the fact that people always recommend this to fantasy beginners, adult fantasy beginners, which to me just screams an action-packed good time, a fast read. If people are recommending it to people who are new to fantasy, I don't know, to me that just means that it must be really exciting. And I also know that the friendship between the two main male characters is really excellent and memorable. This book in particular has been sitting on my shelves forever, and I just recently acquired books 2 and 3 when I was thrift shopping, so I would love to get to these this year. Coming in at number 7, I have the Founders trilogy by Robert Jackson Bennett, and I put this on the list because the 3rd book is coming out this year. It is a pretty well-loved series here on BookTube, and I just thought that it would be really fun to binge read this trilogy once that book comes out. I know there are just going to be a lot of people reading that book, and it just might be kind of fun to hop on that train. What I know about this series is that the magic system is really unique, and you can basically kind of inscribe an object to be something that it isn't. Like, you can magically tell an object that it's like heavier than it really is, or it's bigger than it really is. And then we're following a thief who gets hired to steal this like very powerful artifact, and I'm guessing like things go wrong. I am so excited that the third book is coming out this year. I'm the kind of person who likes to wait until the whole series is finished before I read it, so I've really been looking forward to these. And number 6 on my list is the First Law trilogy by Joe Abercrombie. This is a repeat from last year. This is a huge chunky series, and I just didn't have time for it, but I really would like to read it soon. I would love to read it this year. I just keep hearing glowing, wonderful things about Joe Abercrombie and about this trilogy. It's grimdark, and that is literally all I know about it. I think that's on purpose because there's no synopsis anywhere. Like, I can't find, I mean, I'm sure I could Google one, but like on the books themselves, like there's very little information. It seems like the author just wants you to go in and experience the story, which is totally fine with me. Okay, coming in at number 5 is a trilogy that I feel like everyone has already read, and it is the Red Rising trilogy by Pierce Brown. This is a sci-fi fantasy trilogy. I know it's like a whole series now, but this is like the original trilogy. And I, again, just have been meaning to get to this forever. It's been out for a long time. Again, this is a sci-fi series. So we're following this red blood character. Red bloods are like at the bottom of the totem pole of society and class. And he and the other red bloods have been working really hard all of their lives to make life on Mars inhabitable. Okay, I'm just gonna read this right from the synopsis. Like his fellow Reds, he works all day believing that he and his people are making the surface of Mars livable for future generations. Yet he spends his life willingly, knowing that his blood and sweat will one day result in a better world for his children. But he and his kind have been betrayed. Soon he discovers that humanity already reached the surface generations ago. It just sounds really good. I've heard that it's really gripping and fast-paced, and it sounds like we're gonna overthrow a government, which is just, my favorite kind of book. So yeah, I am definitely going to be reading this one this year, and I can't wait. Coming in at number 4, I have the Mistborn trilogy. I have read the first book, The Final Empire, twice now. The first time I read it, I was kind of like, eh. And I just had this like gut feeling that I was wrong. I don't know if you've ever read a book that was just so popular and so well loved that you were like, it's me, right? It's me, I'm wrong. I'm the wrong. So I decided to reread it because obviously Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson is just like one of the most well-loved fantasy series out there on BookTube. I don't know, but people love this. And I had really mixed feelings about the first book, but I did really want to continue on with the trilogy. So a couple of years later, I decided to reread it, and I did enjoy it a little bit more on my second reread. But mostly I reread it because I wanted to continue on with the trilogy, and then I didn't do that. And I don't know why. I think it was because I had just started BookTube and I was really worried that binge reading series was like not gonna be good content, like doing monthly wrap-ups where all you did was read like one series. I just was afraid was gonna be boring. I've since done away with monthly wrap-ups, so that problem is solved now, and I want to have read the Mistborn trilogy. I want to have read it in its entirety. So my dilemma is I don't know if I should read The Final Empire a third time. Like, I read this at the end of 2020. I feel like maybe it was 19. Now I can't remember. I think it was 2020. So it hasn't been that long. But like, I know that this series, I don't know, I feel like there are a lot of nuances with this series and everything's kind of building up to something epic. And so I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to miss any details. But I also really don't want to reread this book again. Maybe I'll listen to the audiobook on like 2x speed or something. But yeah, I need to read this trilogy this year. Like this has got to happen. Next, in my number 3 slot, I have a duology that I honestly can't believe I haven't read yet, and it is the Strange the Dreamer duology by Laini Taylor. I absolutely love the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy. Like, it's one of my favorite fantasy series, like, ever. I just love it so much, and I don't know why I haven't picked these up. I think I'm a little bit intimidated by them. Those are just the feelings that I have about them. We're following a character named Laszlo Strange, which is just what a good name choice, who's obsessed with finding the lost city of Weep, and that's all I know. That's really all I know about this. I don't want to know too much more because it is only a duology. Like I said, I've been meaning and wanting to get to this for a while. I love Laini Taylor. I love her writing. So I really need to read this year. All right, so in my number 2 spot, I have the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb / the Live Ship Traders trilogy, and I'm putting that / there because I really just want to read a Robin Hobb book this year. Okay, I just want to read one. I feel in my heart that Robin Hobb is going to be a favorite author of mine, and so I want to read a Robin Hobb book. And I know that the Farseer trilogy isn't everyone's favorite, but I do want to try to start here. I mean, not only have I bought these really pretty editions of the trilogy, but this is technically like the first trilogy in the whole expansive series, so I would love to start here. But if for some reason the Assassin's Apprentice just isn't working for me, then I will hop over to the Live Ship Trader series, which it seems like that's a much more loved series. So yeah, I can't wait to read a Robin Hobb book in 2022. Okay, and then my number 1 series that I want to read in 2022, I'm really mad about it actually, and it's the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. I've held this trilogy up in TBRs so many times. This was in my list last year of top 10 series that I needed to read. I don't remember exactly where it was on the list, but it was pretty high up there, and then I didn't read it. So it's number 1 this year. This is my number 1 priority. I am not going to procrastinate like I did last year. I want to read these just as early in the year as I can. Again, there's no synopsis on the book, so it's not really clear what the story is about, but that's okay because I already know that I love N.K. Jemisin's writing, and I just have a feeling this is something that I'm going to absolutely love, and I'm gonna read it in 2022. Just I have to. Okay, I have to. Okay, so that's it for my list. There are a ton of fantasy series on here, and really long ones, really chunky ones at that. So again, I don't know that I will get to all of them, but wouldn't it be nice if I could? So yeah, please let me know what you are planning to read in 2022. What is the book or series that you are most looking forward to reading? What's at the top of your TBR, highest on your priority list? Please let me know. Like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more from me. I hope to see you next time. Bye.